Aloha, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Kumu Karen, Leialoha, Carroll, and our special guest is my dad, John Kaanehe. We're so happy to be here. Thank you, Dad, for joining us.
You're welcome.
Well, I have a question to ask you, and that is, can you tell us how old you are?
I'm 90 years old, and 2 months from now, will be in November, will be my birthday, and I'll be 91.
91. Wow, you look great. Hopefully, I have good genes from you. Can you tell me what is your secret to staying young?
Well, my dad always tell me, if you want to stay young, act like the young people, do what the young people do, walk like the young people, dress like the young people, and you can stay young.
Wow, well, that's some good advice. Can you tell me what you do to keep young? Do you walk every day, or what do you do?
Well, to keep young, I walk at Alamoana Shopping Center every night and for about 1 hour. Sometimes I go there for a half hour. Sometimes I get lazy, and I say to myself, what you want to do, walk with the crutches or walk without crutches? So I jump on my car, I start driving down Alamoana Shopping Center, and start to walk again. You cannot get lazy, you have to keep on walking. Like my son, he was here and he told me, Daddy, keep on walking, don't stop walking. Because when you stop walking, you're going to end up with walking with a cane or crutches.
And I guess you drive a nice car too. I noticed that you have a nice Ford Fusion with rims, flashy rims on it.
Well, that's why I have to stay young, have a young car, a good car to drive.
And I always love the fact that you look for new things to do, and you have new ideas. Can you tell us about maybe one of the inventions that you have?
Okay, I'm an inventor. I started to invent in 1963. I have 96 inventions. One of my inventions, I invented a lure, a fishing lure. You know, when you go fishing, the fish sometimes only bite the lure. He doesn't bite the back with the bait set. He bite the center of the lure. You fight with it, and then they spit it out. So what I did, I invented a lure, a sliding lure. So when the fish bite, they bite like that, they pull one time. When they pull, the lure slides, and the hook is in the back, the star hook. You slide them out right to the hook.
Wow.
And that's a sliding lure. I invented that.
That's great. That's a good idea. When I was a little kid, I used to love to read in bed, but I was so lazy to turn out the light. So one of the things I remember that you invented for me was something right onto the light plate, where there was a little plunger on the top, and it would go down a little bit at a time, and after 15 minutes it would hit the light switch and the lights would go out. And that was my favorite invention that you had. I wish I had that now, and when my kids were growing up. Okay, I wanted to ask you a little bit about Pearl Harbor, because I know that you were there on December 7th. Can you tell me where you were and what happened?
Well, December 7th, I was in the house and I heard a lot of noise going on outside, people talking. And I could hear the gun going off, the anti-aircraft gun. So I said to myself, gee, the National Guard is practicing on Sundays. So I went outside there to see what was going on. When I look up in the sky, I see a lot of black spots from when they were shooting at the plane. And then, and then after that, and they were nearby our house. They were on their way to bomb Fort Shafter. So we live close to Fort Shafter. So, and after that, I got ready and I went to church that morning. While I was in church, later on they announced in church, they say, all Pearl Harbor employees, they want them back to work today. So my dad, my two brothers, and I, went back to work on that Sunday morning. And then as on our way to work, as soon as we passed Hickam to get into Pearl Harbor, you have to pass Hickam Air Force Base. So as soon as we passed Hickam Air Force Base, there was the planes above us where we were dogfighting in the air. So what we did, we stopped our car, we run underneath the railroad track. There's a railroad track goes into Pearl Harbor, and they're all flat cars and box cars, train cars on the side. So we went under those train cars, the flat cars, and stayed under there until the thing cleared. And then we came out again. We parked our car on the outside. We couldn't take our car into Pearl Harbor, so we have to park the cars outside. They want the place clear so the trucks can go up and down. So the first truck to load us in that went on. As soon as the truck was loaded, they took us to wherever they needed help. The way they took me was dry dock number 1. We got it, dry dock number 1, and the ship was on fire, and the ship was capsized in the dry dock. And then we were holding the hose, fighting fire. After that, one of the fellows told me, you should have been here 5 minutes earlier, because they shot down one of the planes, and they found out that he graduated from one of the universities over here. I thought, how do you know? He said, because he had his graduation ring on. Mm-hmm. And that's how they knew he went to school here. And then after that, we started going around in the yard, and I went to dry dock number 2. And look at the ship. They were capsized in the dry dock. So when you put the ship in the dry dock, when you stand them up right in the center, they put telephone posts on the side, on the 2 sides, to hold the ship out. But they dropped the area bomb. They knocked that block off, the post off, and the ship capsized. And then when the planes came by, they're trying to fight with the plane. The guns, they couldn't shoot good because the guns were on an angle. So they tried their best to shoot them, but they had a hard time. And then I went out to dry dock to machine shop 31, where they brought all the bodies over there. And they put them out from the water. They're all full with oil. And then what they did, they put them on a table, and the Navy, they put their T-shirts, they tuck it into their pants. And then when they put a T-shirt out, it's all white, clean, still clean yet, and then they flip it over. When they flip the shirt over, they have their names. And they write their names down on a tag, and then they tag it on the shoes. And they take them out to the football field out in Molili, the first football field we had here in the islands. And out there is where the doctors and the nurses pronounce them, whatever they need, if they're alive or not. And then they went out there, and then after that, excuse me, and then when they got through, examined the body, and then they sent them out to Punch Bowl. They buried them out there in Punch Bowl.
I see. Wow. That must really have been something. Weren't you scared working over there in Pearl Harbor?
No, I wasn't too scared, because I figure if I get scared, I cannot work. So I just pretend I'm not scared. So I just work and try my best. But everything worked out all right.
And how old were you when you were at Pearl Harbor?
Well, when I first went there, I started 4 months before the war started, and I was just 16 years old. And then when the war broke out, in November was my birthday, and I made 17 years. I quit school when I was in 10th grade, because I figured if I quit school now and I go to work, I have much more years in there for my retirement. And if I wait till after the war, the only a couple of years the war is over, and then I cannot have a good retirement. So I quit school and I went to work. And then when the war was over, and I was still working for the federal government, and then I went to night school to complete my education.
Wow, that's really neat, Dad. Well, what did you do? Like just before the war, what was life like at that time? What kind of things did you do?
Well, before the war, we used to go out roller skating, and I used to go dancing. And then I used to sell newspapers. I used to shine shoes, and we do a lot of activities. And Farmington High School right now, over there used to be a Kamehameha school. And right across the street of Farmington High School right now, there's a housing over there. And that used to be a Kamehameha school too. Kamehameha school moved up on the heights.
The higher upper campus. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the old school. They just moved up there, so it's all empty. So they have these people from the mainland that came here to work. They house them over there. They were staying in Kamehameha school in the old quarters over there. And and then there was lots of people, and I used to go around there roller skating and around there.
Where did you go roller skating?
At the Kamehameha school.
It was there?
And then at night, every Friday night, we used to go to Pier 9, Pier 9. And then they have roller skate and ice skating. One side ice skating, one side roller skating. And I used to go there every time. And they roller skate and go to ice skating. Every Friday night, that place used to be packed. And they always play the song, Roll Out the Barrel. And you dance with that song, Roll Out the Barrel.
I remember you always would sing because you would sing to me every night when you would put me to bed when I was a kid.
Is that right?
So I knew all those songs, your Roll Out the Barrel song too. Well, after the war, I bet it was really different. Was it hard to get food for the family?
Well, when the war was over, at Pearl Harbor, all the shops, they stopped working because they knew that they're going to sign the paper that the war will end. So they were just waiting, listening to the radio. While we were listening to the radio, nobody worked. We just waited to hear the news. As soon as they said, they just signed the paper, the war's over, everybody shout, they yell, they dance around, and then and then after that I came home. And then when I came home, I washed up and then I went up to the corner, I caught the bus, and I went in town, about 4th Street. And that place was packed with sailors. The sailors were from, from New Uwano Street all the way up to Kamehameha Statue. The place, they just looked, the cars couldn't move. And on all the side streets were crowded with sailors. You hardly see soldiers over there because the war just got over and the soldiers are still up front yet. They're not home yet. So, and then the sailors, they knew that the war would end. So some of the ships came back into Pearl Harbor. And when they said the war ended, they all went out, truckloads of sailors, all went out to town. We all celebrated with it. And you can see toilet papers coming up from the windows, from the big high buildings. And everybody was celebrating. They were so happy. And that was a really nice sight to see.
And what did you do to celebrate?
I went out there, just watched them what they do, and then stand out there and enjoy what's going on.
Oh, wow, that sounds like fun. Those were happy days, huh?
Those are happy days.
Now, I know you had told me about during the wartime there was a shortage of certain foods, and there were foods you would like to have, but you had to trade it. Would you tell me about that?
Well, during the war, whiskey was hard to get, so they allow each family a coupon. They mail it to you. You allow only one quarter whiskey a month. So every month I wait. As soon as I get my coupon, I go up to the store and I buy my whiskey. And I take it to work the next day. And then the sailors come up on the ship and they want to drink, but they don't have any whiskey. So I tell them, I'll make a bargain with you. I gave you this quarter whiskey. Go and get me one box of chocolate on them. Because they have the PX on the ship. So he goes to the PX and he buys a box of chocolate for me. I tell him, what kind of box? Chocolate. He buys the chocolate for me. He brings it in. We exchange. I give him the whiskey. He gave me the box. Every month we do that. And then that's the way we get. Cause there's no candies in the stores. You cannot buy candies. The shelves is all empty.
Well, what else was empty besides candy?
candies and the other certain type of food, canned food. They bring it in. Once in a while, you can get it. They come inside.
Well, what did you eat mainly during the wartime? Well, was there a shortage of food? You had to eat the
Yeah.
same thing?
Well, you see, when we went to work in the morning, they had lunch stands on the way to work. They had plenty of lunch stands. People were selling box lunches. Because when you buy your lunch at work, the line is long line
Is this at Pearl Harbor?
at Pearl Harbor. So on the way to work to Pearl Harbor, there's lunch stands on the side of the street. And you stop by, you buy a box lunch, and you take it to work. Because when you get to work, you can't get in line because the line is too long. It takes too long to, by the time you eat, but on a short time, you have to go back to work.
And what kind of lunches did they serve?
Oh, they serve regular hot lunch. And that's where I learned how to eat was that, the cabbage that, I forgot what the name is, right?
Kalua pig and cabbage?
No,
Corned beef and cabbage?
no. Sauerkraut.
Oh, sauerkraut.
They have, every Friday they have sauerkraut. I never eat that before, and I started to learn how to eat it, and I started to like it.
Did they have a big variety of foods? What kind of foods do you like?
Oh, they have all kinds of food, stew and all, whatever they have. That's what we eat.
That's interesting. Wow. Well, this has been fun. Is there anything that you remember most about the war, during the wartime? Is there something that you remember that stands out in your memory as you were working in Pearl Harbor or your life in Hawaii during the war?
Yeah, well, while working in Pearl Harbor, every now and then we have the Red Cross ship comes in with patients, the hospital ship, big, and they come into Pearl Harbor, they offload them, they take them up to Tripoli Hospital, and they take them off there, and then I forgot some other words I was going to say.
Well, I'm sure it was an exciting time when the big ship came in. So was this at our harbor that it came
Yeah.
in? Honolulu Harbor?
Yeah, Pearl Harbor.
Oh, at Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. And in Pearl Harbor, they have 3 dry docks. The first dry dock is a little deeper for the ships, and then they have the second one a little shallow, and the third one much shallower than that second one because they have submarines in the third one. But dry dock number 4, they're building it, they're coming up. And when the thing was finished, when they brought the ship in, the airplane carrier goes into the shop. And you know, airplane carrier is real big. You go right into just right into the dry dock. And when they lower down, they go all lower down the blocks. And when they reach down, they put the telephone posts on the side to hold them on the side. And then when you go into the dry dock, and then after that, the thing flares out, go over the side, way over the side. And they have all big guns on the side, all over.
Wow.
And I went into the ship, the airplane carrier one time to take something for the shop. And then when I got on the airplane carrier, they have the planes all on the top. And on the back of the plane, back of the aircraft, they have an elevator goes down. When they take the ship, the planes, they put it down in the basement, down the bottom of the ship. So when they put the plane on the back, the wings open like that. But when they put it on the elevator, the wings goes up like that. And they take it down below the lower deck, and they line them up in the bottom of the boat. And then if you look on the walls, the ceiling, the only thing you see up there is airplane parts, airplane wings, the propellers, anything to repair the airplanes.
Oh,
And that was, it's big, real big underneath there.
that's amazing. Well, it's fun going down memory lane with you, Dad, and thank you for sharing with us. I've often wondered about Pearl Harbor, and I'm glad that we have this time to share with our friends, and you have a chance to talk about your experiences. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today, and we hope that you enjoyed our little conversation. Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome. And aloha.
Aloha.